So I'm just making this video to show some of the methods I use for carving with the Mora 162. I have this spoon. It's a kind of a shorter, chunkier spoon, more of a serving style spoon that I'm modeling after this other spoon I've made. Very similar. So yeah, I love the 162. A lot of people hate it, but I found that it is a great knife for removing material. So one of the cuts that I really love to do with it is this thumb cut where I push at the base, and you can see I have this duct tape here, and that allows me to really choke up when I want, or get this nice cozy, it's memory foam for your thumb cut. And I have the knife, the butt of the knife, or sorry, spoon, the spoon up against my chest too, so it's nice and stationary. And this knife right here, which is just, I'm pretty much just rotating the knife. Great for just totally peeling off chunks. And I'll usually start by trying to go down the center of the spoon bowl, and I'll explain why in a minute. So you can just start off by making a nice, don't try to make a trench, but just peeling off cuts. And I know a lot of people have a lot of different methods, so I'm not going to critique anybody else's methods, but this is what works for me, and I love it. So then, once again, choking up, which I love that you put a little bit of this Gorilla Tape has been on for I don't even know how long, maybe a couple years now. It hasn't budged. Once again, still just totally destroying the wood. And for me, I like to take this one camping. I like to sit down with the knife and not think about sharpening it too much, too soon. So the nice thing about this knife is you sharpen both sides, you've got twice as much life out of it. A whole lot less of pivoting, because you can go from this, and then if you want to switch up which muscle groups you're using and not wear yourself completely out, then you just switch to going like this, which is just a lot of leverage. Honestly, like, I'm pretty much twisting the knife blade here, so I'm not really putting a whole lot of strain on myself. Okay. Let's see. In the past I've done cuts like this. This is not a spoon where I use this cut too much, but definitely doable. I find it's important to just keep in mind, I don't need to take out huge chunks of wood every time. Just kind of like do my best to run the knife across the surface, and pieces will keep coming out. And we'll get there when we get there. So this is definitely a big spoon bowl. Which, if you're going for big spoon bowl, and you don't want it to be super shallow, so you want it to be able to carry something, you're going to be removing a lot of material. And I know some guys use adze, some guys use an adze that's ADZE, adze, to remove the material in a bowl before digging in, and good for them, that's great. I like spoon carving because of the simplicity of only needing, if you want, only needing one hook knife and one, it could be a pocket knife, right? Something that everybody has. So really, the only specialty tool is the hook knife. If you have an old hatchet, old pocket knife, you can definitely start. I'd recommend, if you're going to try it out, buying a Mora hook knife like this, or the 164, and then a Mora 106 Sloyd knife. I think that's the best thing you could do for yourself if you're starting out. So here's like a great scooping cut right here. Just when you choke up and go right across the base, you can remove some serious material. This is probably the most awkward part of a big spoon bowl for me, is like right down in here. This is when, I'm sure if you have something like a Tuca can that has the big handle that you can really twist with, I'm sure that's why those guys love those. This is when I just tell myself little bits at a time for this part right here. A little bit at a time. I mean, it's a cooking spoon or serving spoon, so it's not like, you know, it's not like the guys with the little eating spoons and they take their few nice little feathery cuts, and that's great. It looks great. But cooking spoons are a little different. So you can see that's not very well roughed out, but there. You can see this thing is really taking apart the bowl. And then once you really have the shape of the bowl, which I'll admit is not something I've thought about too much here. Let's take a look at it. Must be the wet wood inside, the drier outside layer. Once you've got your general shape of the bowl, you can get some long peeling cuts like this. This is also great for making coffee scoops. So here's a coffee scoop I made. That's honestly what I think. I think this is like the coffee scoop machine. That's what I use this the most for. 1/64. This is the 1/64. Can probably do just about the same thing. I think though, oh, can the 1/64 reach a little farther? No, about this way. The grain orientation in this spoon, I think, is just a little different than what I usually do. Alright, but that's the 1/62. I think not many top secret things, but definitely that pushing, rotating leverage cut, especially if you use it in conjunction with the grain, super useful. You can get some good long peeling, scraping if you don't push down too hard. Put some nice grooves in it. I like a textured bowl, leaving a little bit of markings like this rice paddle. Some nice grooves, I like that. You can probably see a little bit of texture in here. I think I went a little smooth on this one. You can see some textures in the glimmer of the light. But yeah, so that's the 1/62. I would highly recommend it. You know, if you're new to spoon carving, maybe start with the 1/64 just because it's a little safer, especially the new 1/64 that doesn't have the pointy tip. But if you know, if you kind of think, if you're good with tools, good with your hands, 1/62 is pretty diverse, but I know a lot of people would not recommend it, so you know, maybe go with the majority. I love it. All right, hope this helped. Thanks for watching.